Let's Talk. Here at Let's Talk, we like to talk about issues that matter to you. So we try to come up with workable, practical solutions. So we have more action and less talk. And we just want to welcome you back. We've been going now, what, 3 weeks? Miss 3 weeks
We need
on.
to welcome ourselves
Yeah,
back.
welcome ourselves. Yes. So we're always happy to have you guys here. So as always, we would like your participation in the show.
Yes.
352-8255, or just drop a comment in the chat and we'll read it live. Well, I'm your host, Jason, with my co-host,
Still Cheryl.
still Cheryl. And guys, we need your energy. We need y'all today. We need y'all to pump us back up, get us back in the swing of things. Today we have I think it's really going to be a nice, juicy topic. What makes a successful marriage? You know, with this what is it, modernity, the people today, modern people today, they're really changing the narrative, they're changing meanings of so many words, they're changing the definitions of so many things. But I am an old traditional guy, and when I think of marriage, I think of one man, one woman, under God. The man is the leader, the woman supports the vision that God gives that man for the family.
Right.
And, you know, that's what I think. But nowadays, I try to talk like that. They call me a narcissist because I say the man leading, you know.
Really? Who would call you that, Jason?
These women, these modern day women, these feminists, you know, they could do everything a man could do. And who says the man has to be in charge and all? They don't need no man for nothing. And, you know, you heard the talks. So
Yeah, but I don't
you don't subscribe.
I don't subscribe to that, number one, and I don't believe that the women who are saying it, that they truly believe it. I think some people are stuck in certain realities, and if they had it the other way, their tone would be different. But sometimes people say things out of bitterness and missed opportunities, and so it becomes their rhetoric or their
reality.
Their reality, more or less. So if their reality were to change, their dialogue would change.
Yes.
That's how I feel. So some people just say a lot of things out of hurt and out of ignorance. And sadly, a lot of us were not brought up the right way. So we didn't have the right experience, and so we don't have the right perspective on a lot of things. And sadly, life and experiences should change, but a lot of people are still living in I would say living in ignorance.
Yes.
Even though we're grown, there are a lot of adults who are walking around not matured, not wise, and we're still just living just based on just bare minimum of what we would have heard, or minimal understanding of what life's supposed to be about.
Yes, I agree. And a lot of people, to add to that, I think they're just living on their feelings.
That is true.
Just living, just going how they feel. And
that is true.
Wherever their emotions take them, that's where they allow the waves to carry them, and they just act out.
Right.
They're reactive.
Right.
You know, and they're loyal to their feelings, you know, and they think everything should be about feeling good.
Right.
You know, that's their ultimate pursuit.
Right.
To feel
good. Life should always be about comfort and feeling good.
Yes.
But it was funny when I see these videos around. There are a lot of videos, and everybody just is in it. I don't know. It's for attention. Everybody, you know, just on social media, just saying things. But when I see all the bizarre videos, I can't wait to rush to the comments. I go straight to the comments because I just need to know how people are feeling.
Yes.
The rest of the people. Yeah, that's how you feel. But I want to know how the majority of the people are feeling. Like the last video I saw with the young lady who talks about how good her husband is. He's just an awesome guy, and he does everything right. She couldn't find any fault with him. And I think they had two young children, and she's in her early 30s. But she said she's not happy. She needs to find herself. And so she's leaving her husband. And my mouth dropped open because I'm waiting for the rest of the story. That was the story. So I rushed to the comments.
Break your leg, get into the comments.
Broke my neck, broke my leg, broke everything going to the comments. And the number of persons who agreed with her, it wasn't just her. She was enough, but the number of persons that agreed with her, that at that age with 2 children, she must walk away from that relationship because for some reason she feels that she has not found herself. That I found more bizarre than her story in itself.
Mm-hmm.
That there are a lot of people out there willing to say to someone, leave your family because for some reason you have found a reason that you're not happy.
So, Cheryl, no, continue.
Yes, and we're not going to go into gender specifics.
No, we have to because I'm curious now because
well,
I'm really curious who will actually give this woman or stand with her and to say, yes, that's a good idea. I'm curious which gender.
There were a lot of females saying
a lot
to
or
her,
only females?
No, I think it was basically only females.
Okay.
Because there's some things that men stay out of or
Yes.
just watch. Sometimes men just come just to watch what the comments were. And there were a lot of females who were saying, yeah, you can't be happy if you don't know who you are, if you don't know yourself, and you need to, and you can't be your best self to the husband and to the children and I'm saying, you didn't think you should go find yourself first before you went and married a man and have kids. You have kids now. So it's bigger than you.
Right.
And so the level of selfishness, and it made me realize that a lot of us are very, very selfish as we make decisions about relationships. We are very, very selfish. And we have to understand that once you have committed to someone, it's be bigger than you now.
Yes, and Cheryl, see, we're going to get to what makes a successful marriage first. I mean, afterwards, right? But this right here definitely does not equate to a successful marriage.
No.
So we do have to speak about this, right? So, and just to go down this rabbit hole a little deeper, what does she think is going to happen with her and her kids, right? So
Exactly.
let me just probe this for a minute. She's going, and chances are she's going to want to take the kids because that's her way to get money from the father. Because if she leaves the kids with the dad, then she has no way to say, okay, I actually need you to support me while I go find myself.
I think either way is a messed up scenario.
So
Go ahead.
so now, what is she expecting? She's going to find this other guy out there after she's found herself, because she wants to find herself independent of her husband,
Independent of her family.
right? So she finds herself. So who is she expecting the husband who she left to be waiting till she finds herself? Or is she expecting another man to now take her on with her children and raise her children as if they are his own? See,
Jason,
the delusion is
I was
crazy.
So messed up. I didn't even think beyond. I just couldn't conceive.
Yes, because
Because it is so bizarre. I find it so bizarre. And as you watch things, and I used to think that these things people are just making it up, that it's not real. But the more I watch, I realize these things are real.
They're
People
real.
are actually believing
and so Cheryl,
these things.
So Cheryl, remember, I think months back, I would be making reference to these things. You say, Jason, that's not true. I say, Cheryl, you live in a bubble. So now you've joined us now.
Let's not, you know what?
you reach you to reality
No,
now.
I'm not.
You're in 2025 now.
I'm still
you're
not
back.
on your side. We're
No,
still
so
on,
you're in
on this side.
2025
But no,
now. You're not back in 2018 or 2017 when these things probably may have
Maybe
been hidden.
2022. I haven't
No,
reached
no.
2025 yet.
Yeah, but
But it's crazy out there.
It's crazy, right? So, what makes a successful marriage, right? One, me being a God-fearing man, a Christian, following Christ. Number one, I would say, both parties, both the husband and wife, should subscribe to God, to the Bible, right? And if not, if you don't follow I don't want to say religion, my belief, then your husband and wife should have the same belief then.
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be the Bible. It should be the Bible because we have a standard.
Absolutely.
It doesn't change. That tells the husband how to behave. It tells the wife how to behave. So if I'm acting out of order, my wife could now get the Bible and say, hey, according to this, Jason, you say you believe in this. This is how you should act.
Right.
And I should be able to do the same thing to her.
Right.
Because we fall in we subscribe to the same belief. So I think for a successful marriage, they should have the husband and wife should have the same belief system.
Yes.
And for us, that's the Bible, which God says he's the head. Then he placed man in charge, and the woman comes under that and supports the husband as God gives the man the vision for the vision, not the vision, the vision for the family on how he should raise his family and which direction he should go. Because I just saw a video, and it was it's something I knew, but I like how the guy put it. He says, God is a God of order. So he would give the husband, he would talk to the husband. He can talk to the wife, because if the husband is following God, he's going to talk to him on how the direction for the family to go. Because God believes in order. He would never jump over the husband to speak to the wife, because he's going against his word. So if God say, hey, I put the man in charge, then why is he going to the wife? The only time God would go to the wife is if the husband is out of order, if the husband is out of place. So for a successful marriage, the husband has to be in place in order to do his job. And the wife has to should support.
And should be in place as well.
Yes, definitely.
And I think what is wrong with the world is and relationships, marriages, it's really, I hate to refer it back, but it's really the curse. It's really the curse of the fall of man and women in the garden. Because now we see the usurping of relationships where women, we want to lead. We want to be in charge. We don't want the guy to tell us what to do. We want to determine what happens with our own lives. And even when we're in a marriage, we still want to lead. And I find that this is getting, like, this has blown up, really. I know growing up, it was just a basic woman just trying to lead. And it was in a gentler way, more or less. Now, it is blown out of proportion to the part where it is destructive, like blatantly, catastrophically destructive to the family. And I think once the family goes, the world goes.
Definitely.
And I think that structure of the family is really out. And that's why now we have relationships coming apart.
Yes.
And that's why I think after faith, because we must have a solid faith foundation.
Yes.
God is definitely important in a marriage. But even marriages without God are still working. There's some marriages without God, and those marriages, that I think the commitment to each other, commitment to working things through, commitment to working challenges through, and to see the other person as your partner, as your, a ride or die,
right?
And knowing that, okay, it's the two of us against whatever the situation is. And I think that will be very, very important to a successful marriage. You have to see the other person as an ally. And even if you're having an argument, you're disagreeing on things, you have to still see the other person as an ally.
Right. Not somebody who you're trying to win
Right.
over. I win, she loses, or she wins, I lose. It has to be, the marriage has to win.
Exactly.
And like you said, they have to be committed to one another, and there's no other option.
Exactly.
No
other
option.
You're
There's
not
no
going
option.
anywhere.
No divorce. There's no
if you go, I'm going with you, more or less. So there's no out.
There's no out.
It's like being on an airplane. You're in this. Where are you going?
That's it. We're
stuck together. So let's
make
this
it work.
out.
Let's make it work.
That
yes.
we both end up, and you can end up not being happy, because you may make a decision where one person may be a little uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, you're still together, and that's the win.
And it's not about happiness.
No.
Because every day it's not going to be, it's about success.
Exactly.
Because in order to be successful, there will be some pruning
discomfort,
and discomfort. That's the word. So it ain't every day you can be happy.
Right.
Happiness will come.
Yes.
But let's try to make it work. But we got to take a quick commercial break. So join us on the other half. We'll be glad to get you in on this conversation, man. We're not the experts on this. So you come in and tell us what you have to say about it. So we'll see you after this commercial break.
Yo, what's up, Bahamas? My name is Andrew Williams, aka Cat.
And I'm your boy Mix.
And we're representing Off the Bench, the #1 talk sportcast in the Bahamas.
In the world, my boy.
My bad partner. So we cover anything sports throughout the Bahamas. We cover our Bahamian athletes wherever they are, and they're making waves in sports. We cover them.
Hey, just tune in to us every Wednesday here on Superior Talk at 6:00 p.m.
Sharp. The #1 talk show in the world, Craig.
And we're back here on Let's Talk, and we're talking about what makes a successful marriage. And we'll jump right into the comments. Go ahead.
Okay. I was waiting patiently on you. Clearly, we're out of sync.
Yes.
Terrell Smith says the world's views of marriage are influenced by Satan,
Most definitely.
and his plan is to destroy, period.
Period.
And
I
she
agree.
is correct. She says she heard a pastor say that the world's view of marriage is contractual.
Mhm.
God's view of marriage is a covenant, two
Yes.
different levels of commitment.
Yes.
And definitely that is true.
Yes.
That is true.
Definitely. You know, the world's view, Satan is the prince of this world. He
Right.
usurped, like you said, he usurped. And his, like Terrell said, his whole intention is to destroy.
Right.
He came after the man first.
Mhm.
He succeeded. That's when he, you know, and he used Eve to get to the man.
Mhm.
And once the man is out of place, women is fair game.
Right.
And so he's now influencing these women. You all don't need a man. I could do everything out of a man. I could lead. And just to the point that you were making, how these women were trying to lead these marriages. And they were doing it subtly, but now they're out full blown.
Mhm.
And they just don't care. And sadly, the other thing I'm seeing now is they don't even care anymore. Men don't even care to pursue relationships anymore. So it's not even making it as far as marriage to even fail. Because the position a lot of these women are taking on wanting to lead, you know, they are, you know, that was never the way it was designed. And for the mere fact that women lead with their emotions.
Right.
Emotions are good. They're good at keeping you in check sometimes. That's the human part of us, I guess, the
Creating
emotions.
balance.
But 9 times out of 10, you're going to need that clear head. Without the emotions, you're going to be able to need to make that logical decision
Right.
apart from your emotions. And I think that's why God put the man in charge. Because if you leave it up to us, if we move out our emotions, I don't think no marriage would last.
Right.
You know, because listen, we know how our emotions get at sometimes, and to not have them in check, that leads to abuse, that leads to unfaithfulness. You good? You good?
Yeah.
Let it out. Let it out. Don't try to hold it out. Hate to see COVID when you're scared to cough. Don't be like, what on? Put out. Put out.
Why is he putting the camera on me while I'm coughing? Like, really? Awful.
Yeah, so the narrative of Satan's really trying to push his agenda.
Yeah.
And that's why he's coming after marriages. And so sad that we, like you said, the commitment should be to one another and not fighting against each other, fighting for the marriage. But so sad that Satan gets in our head and we see each other as the enemy for that
Exactly.
moment and we fight. And next thing we are going like
In
this.
separate directions.
But see, that's why I like to advocate for God to be first and foremost, because at the end of the day, when you'll have something to draw back and actually hold your partner accountable to say, hey, you say you believe in God, but God say you acting out of order right now.
Yeah.
And then your spouse has to either line up or they got to take it up with God.
That's
You
true.
know?
That's
But
true.
but without him there, now you need something else to bring your spouse back. Not saying that marriages cannot work without God, they just work better with him.
Yes.
You know?
And when you say too that women have to know their place, and I think women we don't. What we need to understand though is that we have a very, very important place. Our important place is a place of support
Yes.
and to pray for our husband.
Yes.
Whatever it is that we find lacking in him, instead of trying to take over thinking that we have that quality, you pray for that quality.
Yes.
If you find that he needs wisdom, if you find that he needs maybe some a little more financial knowledge or whatever,
Yes.
whatever it is, you pray for him. Pray for him.
Right.
And help him along. But the fact is, we like to take over, and we have that take over
Jezebel
mentality.
spirit.
But I think that comes too from trust, Jason.
Yes.
We don't trust our partner to say, okay, even if it's something that we can do better than him. Once we say I trust him to deal with that. We're impatient, of course. I normally get told that, gee, I want something done before the words drop out of my mouth. Once I start the sentence, he's
You want
supposed
it
to
done,
finish reading it, and I want it done. So because we're impatient and we sometimes we lack trust, we feel like we can do something better, and sometimes men are not as expressive. So because he's not telling you everything, you feel like you have to fill in the blanks.
Mhm.
And so sometimes we take things on ourselves, and we feel like I said, we feel like we could do better. We go ahead and do it. But trust is very important to any relationship, for any relationship to work. And it's not just trust about infidelity and other persons. It's trust about everything.
And the
Trust
ability.
him to make a decision and know that he's going to make the right decision for
Right.
both of you.
See, Cheryl, I agree with you saying the trust, but the women have to recognize that what they're doing. See,
You think that women don't know what
they
they're doing?
no, because that's their way of life. They've probably been operating that for the entirety of their life, doing things on their own. When they want it done, they go ahead and do it. For now, for them to back off and give it to somebody else,
Right.
they may not feel that they're doing anything wrong.
And because they have friends who are going to tell them that
Oh,
they are.
Lord, the wrong. That's
Let me
the
tell
next
you
thing.
something.
Friends leading the street. I'm seeing
Exactly.
single friends. who-
Excuse me, I don't think you can say single friends. I think you have to, women who are in relationships, you should be very careful who you get advice from. I always say that. And it doesn't, you can get advice from a single person who is wise, but you have to watch how people live their lives. If people live their lives in a certain way where their life is speaking for them,
Yes.
then you can get advice from them. But you can tell me the right things, Jason, but if your life is not matching up to it, I don't want any advice
Right.
from you. Of course,
Right.
I'm going to hear you out, but I'm not going to do what you say.
Yeah.
But your life is supposed to live up. It's supposed to give better advice than what was coming out of your mouth.
Right. I would take it even further. Don't take any advice from anyone who doesn't have both of you
Your interest at heart.
both interests at heart.
Yes, exactly.
Because they might lean more to you.
yes.
So they want you to win. So they're gonna tell you what you need to hear for you to win. To make you feel better.
Right.
Like a yes guy.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you get an advice from somebody who has the marriage at heart,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna be able to call you out. They ain't just tell you what you want to hear to make you feel better. And a lot of us only want to have those friends around us who are gonna make us feel better.
Feel better, yes.
So don't take advice from anybody who doesn't want your marriage
right.
to succeed.
But and I think too, getting advice from persons should be, and I wouldn't even say persons, I would say people who have the training to give proper advice. I think a lot of times too, we come out of our relationship and seek advice from other people. You have to trust your partner enough to be vulnerable so that you can say what it is that's affecting you, offending you, or hurting you. Even if it's something that they are doing, I think they should be given the first option
Yes.
to fix it, to hear you out
Yes.
and to fix it. But I think a lot of times we like to go out of our relationships and get advice from people. And sometimes these people are not the best persons to give advice. And then we do what it is that they say.
So what I'm hearing is this leads into communication. Because
yes.
you may want to tell your partner, but it's how you tell your partner. Because you have to speak in a way or communicate in a way that your partner is receptive of it.
True.
Because I could say, baby, I want this cup moved. I could say, man, Frank, man, move the cup. Both of them want me,
Who you
I want the
talking
cup
to?
right. So you have to know how to speak.
Exactly.
Or not speak, because communicating is more than speaking. It's more than
Yes.
verbal. So you have to know how to effectively communicate
Yes.
so that your spouse is receptive. And then on the other end of that, your spouse should be, or we should be, great, empathetic listeners.
Yes.
I learned that word. I mean, I always knew the word, but I know how to put it together. Like,
But I mean, that's like
empathetic
Spanish
listeners.
for guys. Because
See, she said she wasn't going to go do the gender thing, right?
I'm
So
sorry.
she just opened it up just now.
I've
So
been
now
talking
it's just
about
fair
females.
game.
I've been
It's fair
talking about
game.
females all night. We've been
It's
talking
fair.
about
See, you can
females all
talk
night.
with females, but see,
But-
once I don't shoot, but
No,
hey, it's
no,
okay.
but no. I mean, there's some challenges that we both have. Males have their challenges and females have their challenges. But I think it's important too that, and I know we had this conversation before because as it came to my mind, I remember exactly your response when I said that you have to also know how to read the room, and you have to, depending on what you're communicating, your partner you have to know that your partner is able to accept
What
or
is-
receive what it is you're
Right.
saying. You know, and sometimes we know how our partners are. There are times of the month when it's maybe not a good time to bring up something to a female. There are some times of the day when it's not a good time to bring up something to a male. It could be something that you're battling. The man just come home from work and tired, and you see that hungry and tired. It's not the best time to bring up certain things to him. So we have to learn our partners, because your house is different from mine. Everybody's house is different. And that's why even when you're giving and taking advice, you have to take these things into consideration. So you have to learn to read the room, know your partner, and know when is the best time to have certain conversations. Because certain conversations are received better, depends on what time of the day or night. Maybe how you're dressed. I don't know.
So
Just saying.
back to what I was saying on the listening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And seeing that you opened up that gender thing, empathetic listening
boy.
versus defensive listening,
yes.
right? And a lot of times when men, husbands, because we talk about marriage now, we can just go on, we can make this specific to husbands, when he wants to communicate to his wife, whatever he needs to say, she's in defensive mode now, because here he comes, wonder what he's going to make noise about now, right? So rather than empathetic listening, rather than listening to see what he's saying, if it's valid or not, she's listening for key words
So
to
you
hold
can-
on
yes.
for her to now,
Respond.
for her to respond from. So she's building her defense
Right.
rather than just, is what he's saying valid?
Yeah.
How is he feeling? So, and I got this from a female. Women do this, defensive listening more.
We do.
It's because,
we do.
and it leads into the accountability part as well. You know, that's like kryptonite for some females, taking accountability. Like, they may know they're not functioning at their best on a certain level, but don't tell me.
Right.
Let me figure that out on my own. So if he now expresses, okay, baby, you're doing it good this way, but I would prefer you to do it this way. Oh, so what you trying to say? That's it, you know? The lady went on saying, the guy come home and say, well, she wants to talk. But he said, oh, baby, I tired. I just tired right now. Give me a minute. Oh, so what you saying? You tired of me? What, I talking too much? I annoying you? And he'd be like,
Yes.
Jesus, no, I just
We
tired.
say, you say one thing and we hear something else.
Right, right.
Yes,
And
yes.
men, most part, say exactly what they mean. So we say we tired, or we're not hungry, or we are hungry. That's what we mean. Not if I tell you, I really hungry now, I full. Oh, you don't like my cooking? No, I just eat a late lunch. No, so I
Yes.
cook this big meal.
We are-
So you're reading too much into
We're
it.
different that way. And like you said, yes, sometimes women, we are guilty of just listening to respond or not listening to understand.
Right.
Or even to even try to fix the problem. Because sometimes, and this is it, and a guy who knows his female, maybe could preempt what he's going to say by saying, baby, I just want you to hear me out. This is whatever. So you fashion it however your partner
That don't
is.
work. Because
I
that just
don't
puts her
know.
on a higher alert. Or he coming with some
No,
BS now.
no.
He preface it, he coming with some
Listen.
BS.
Don't my trigger is don't tell me calm down. Don't say just.
What if you
just
need to calm down?
Don't tell me. Let me figure it out. No, but the point is, yeah, we do sometimes just get off the handle without even.
Right.
And that's why sometimes men clam up and they stop talking, and we wonder why they stop talking.
Yes, yes.
Because
That is it right there.
We don't.
That's why we don't talk.
listen
That is it right there, Cheryl.
understand.
We just
Yes.
trying to avoid the arguments. We want a successful marriage. We want
Right.
peace in the house. So guess what? We bottle up a lot of things because we don't want to be called complainers. Even though when you complain, we don't say nothing. We just let you complain and take it on the chin. Okay, and try to adjust. But yeah, it's all about compromise, and which we'll talk about when we're coming back.
Okay.
So we'll be on the next side of the break. We'll continue our conversation about what makes a successful marriage. And by no means, this goes straight across the board. There are some things that are general and then some things that are more specific. So we'll get into that when we come back after the break.
You asked and I delivered. Island Ish is back. the podcast you guys have known to love, to like to call in, to like to interact with. We are officially back. For the ones that don't know me, this is your girl Yams. Hearing me on Mix 102.1 FM or your favorite TGF_Yams. With the 2 S's, we're back with Islanish right here on Superior Talk. So make sure you're following the page. We're going live this Thursday, 6 p.m. Don't miss it. Follow us. It's about to get lit.
And we are back, and I do believe we have some comments, so let's jump right into it. Hey, Priska, welcome back.
Yes, Priska. Priska says, plenty people getting married who's not supposed to get married.
Yes.
That's why it's seemingly so easy to divorce.
Yes, I agree with her on that.
Very good, yes.
I agree with her on that.
And I didn't think that, marriage is a fad. It's just something
Yes.
that, people just do it. A female feels okay at a certain time, a certain age. It's time for me to get married.
Yeah.
And so they get married. Priska also says, I think premarital counseling should take place before anyone gets married. A lot of people have no idea what a real marriage entails.
But
I agree 100%.
But that happens, but people just, premarital counseling happens because almost every pastor insists on counseling you before he
Yes.
marries you. But
Here's the problem.
the time is, the people, by the time they say they're going to the pastor, their mind already made up.
Exactly.
They get married.
Counseling should happen before you decide to get married.
The minute
Go
you
to
say,
premarital counseling with the person.
right, the minute you say, okay, this look like this going to be the one, the counseling should start from there.
Absolutely. And I think counseling can continue because I think that's like just taking vitamins.
Yes.
Having relationship counseling is like taking
Yes.
vitamins to sustain the relationship.
Definitely.
You don't wait for problems to occur for you to start getting
Preemptive.
help. You
That's
don't
right.
wait to get sick before you start taking vitamins and
Proactive
exercising.
and reactive.
Exactly, you do that.
Mix in the building. What's going on, Mix? Communication makes a marriage successful as well, says Mix.
Definitely.
Definitely. Proper communication. Communication ain't just I talking at you or talking
Yes.
to you. I'm talking with you and actually listening for your
Listening.
response.
Exactly.
That's what communication
Listening
is.
without
Listening for your
judgment,
response.
without interruption,
Yeah,
and
oh.
listening to understand.
To understand.
And work with the person to make the relationship
Right.
better.
Listening to
Yes.
understand rather than listening to defend.
Yes.
Unless they're asking you to defend.
Mhm.
Jay John says the enemy is opposed to marriage because it's the earthly representation of the covenant between Jesus and the church. Yes, sir.
Amen.
Amen. Big
Yes.
word there. Communication along with timing. I've seen people arguing about agreeing to the yes, agreeing to the same thing.
Wow.
Yes, I've
Yes.
been in that. I've been guilty. I'd be like, hold on, but we saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I just didn't like how you saying it. Or you,
Oh, now you saying it?
Trevor, hey, welcome to the show, Trevor. Trevor says, when God ordained marriage, the two becomes one. So you have to deal with marriage on a spiritual level, even though we are physical. So you have to be in the same book and on the same pages to deal with each other. Yes, agreed. Common ground. Go ahead.
Okay, Nay McKenzie says, you guys are hitting topic that plenty of people are afraid to talk about. So this is really good.
Thanks, Nate.
Thank you very much.
Jay John says, most people don't communicate to truly resolve an issue. They listen for rebuttal. That's what we were saying. Just
Yes.
waiting for that time to jump in and say, okay,
Yes.
my time to throw my blow. For true. And it's at the expense of their spouse. You know,
Yes.
it's never to say, okay, let me listen to resolve the issue so that a marriage could be better. No, let me
Yes.
listen to get myself off the hook, or let me listen so that I can show you that I know better.
Right.
It's almost always,
Yeah, it's a competition.
yes, it's a
Or
competition.
to show the other person up. And
Right.
that's what I was saying. You have to be the person's ally.
Yes.
And how do you treat your ally? You know, and I think a lot of times too, I think couples should be friends.
Yes.
You should, and I know we had this conversation before about whether spouses are best friends. You should be best
Should be.
friends. You are doing the most intimate of things. You are
Yeah.
sharing bodily fluids. You are doing
Hey.
all of that. How are you not best friends? You know, I saw a young lady shared something, and she was like, it was on an Instagram thing, and she said, if only my friends know, I just can't wait for my husband to lay off and talk about them. And
Pillow talk.
It was funny, but
Yeah.
I'm saying, aren't a
Yes.
husband are friends.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what friends do.
Yeah.
You know, you come from work and you tell you know, and then when you go to work, he say, well, who this one is? That's the one you was talking about.
Yeah. See,
Or
that's
whatever.
already, that's already, yeah.
Exactly. So, couples, I believe couples definitely should be friends. And that communication is so, so very important.
We have to learn how to communicate. And this should be taught before or learned before marriage. Before even,
Yes.
because that'll save a
Yes.
lot of issues. Because a lot of the issues in marriage is miscommunication. Not understanding where your partner's coming from, not
Right.
understanding what they were actually trying to say.
Yes.
You know, women like to read deeper. Men speak right where whatever we're feeling, we speak it straight up, right?
Right.
So women should take that at that point, and men should realize, okay, I see she going a little deeper. Let me bring her back. You know, so we should both of us need to take time to learn each other, to learn to communicate or speak each other's language.
Right.
That's
And I
what we
think-
really should do.
I think learning each other. See, women, what we do is we love out of who we are, and you could be telling us how to love you, but we're gonna determine how we're gonna love you.
Yes.
You might
Yes.
just want me to sit down and listen to you.
Yes.
But I won't cook, clean, and do all those fancy things, prepare a 3-course meal. And he was like, I would rather go to Burger King. I just want you to sit here and
Right.
listen to me.
Right.
But a lot of times, like you said, there's a miscommunication because women feel like we know how to love someone. And once we determine how we're going to love you, then that's what's in our head. But we need to stop what we're doing,
And just,
pay attention to what the guy is asking
and
us to
follow
do,
instructions.
and follow instructions. And
Just
I think,
follow it.
and I think vice versa. But I think guys should do the same thing too. But I think the guys are a little easier to deal with as it relates to this kind of situation.
Yes. So I have a commenter here that says, I don't disbelieve that at times God speaks to the man first. I don't disbelieve that at times God speaks to the man first. But there are several incidents in the Bible where God spoke to the woman first. You go on to list that God spoke to Deborah and told her that he will deliver Sisera into the hands of a woman. The angel of the Lord spoke to Elizabeth and told her that she would conceive a child. Then she asked the angel to speak to her husband. The Lord visited Pilate's wife in a dream and warned her about Jesus. So I believe God speaks based on relationship with him and based on each person's spiritual gift. Now, when I spoke, I said, I was just going in general. Both husband and wife are following God.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with the commenter, first of all. But I was speaking that the husband and wife are in place, are following
right.
God, and the husband is in line with God. There are times when God would speak to the wife, especially if the husband isn't in position.
But he
If-
will
if-
never
if-
tell her to usurp his position.
No,
in
she would
either
not. He
way.
would tell her, right? He would not,
You know,
never tell her
because-
to try to lead over her husband. It would be in conjunction with the husband.
Right. I had a lady share a story with me just about a week ago when she was said, when she got married, she was a strong Christian and her husband was not. And she said, she didn't feel like she was a strong Christian. She more or less had one foot in and one foot out.
Right.
But her husband later on told her that she won him over. He became a very strong Christian and she won him over just by watching her, just by how
Correct.
she
And
dealt with things in
yes.
the relationship. And so a lot of times we can win over our husbands by our character, and that's what the
Right.
Bible tells us to do.
Most definitely.
So it's important that we stay in place.
Correct.
And in place meaning being a female, being your soft, feminine self. You pray for your husband, you support him. And a lot of times, I know someone even asked me the question, if someone who got married, like let's say even in a situation with tithing, you and your husband were not saved. You get saved and he tells you, don't tithe. In that situation, it's best to do what your husband says because he's not where you are yet. But then you pray
Right.
and you win him over by your character, and
Right.
God will work on.
God will work
but
it
God
right.
will never tell you
To
to
go
disobey,
against
to go against your
your
husband,
husband.
even in a situation that requires
Well,
a certain level.
Let me add a little bit more context. God would tell you go against your husband if he's trying to take you away from God.
Right.
So if the wife is trying to go towards God and the husband is like leading her into sin, God would speak to her and tell her, hey, do not follow the man. Don't let that man cause you to go into sin, because God wants us to get closer to him now. Now, so there's certain things, I think it's
Yes.
a little bit of, it's a little gray.
Yeah, there's some gray
area,
areas.
right?
There's
So-
some gray areas because it could come down to going to church.
Right, right. And if your husband wants you to stay home, you can
stay
find a
home.
way to
You could
commune
watch
with
it on
God.
TV.
Right,
You
right.
could do, but find a way to help your relationship. But a lot of times, sometimes we use God as a crutch
Yep.
to
And that
to
leads to divorce.
to make ourselves seem that we're doing the right thing.
Right. So we're disobedient to our
Mm-hmm.
spouse and using God as an excuse to do it.
Right.
When God is a God of order. And He said
Exactly.
we are to win them over by our conduct.
Right.
So how can you win your spouse over by just blatantly
Mm-hmm.
disrespecting them and then saying, I doing this because God wants me to?
Mm-hmm.
You're turning your spouse away from God
Absolutely.
and losing your marriage in the same time.
Absolutely.
So, and that's God in that. So you got to be careful on that. So the level of commitment and respect for one another's opinions, right? So even though God has the man as the head, that don't mean he should be lording that over her.
No.
You know, she's still a human adult, but that God speaks to as well, and she has her own strengths.
Right.
So therefore, he should be wise enough to lean on her and respect her opinions, right? And then, if it makes more sense, he should be man enough to follow that.
Yes.
Now,
I agree.
if he feels strongly to say, hey, I heard you out, but I think we should go in this direction,
Right.
she should have enough respect to willingly or submit to that, not grudgingly. Well, okay, use man, you go ahead. When you fall down and back up again.
Yeah, don't come to me.
Yeah, don't come to me.
Yes.
She said,
You
okay,
still have to support.
she should support the decision
And
he
pray
makes.
that his decision wins, because
Exactly.
when he wins, you both win.
Ah, you got it.
But I think the one thing, Jason, and I don't know how much you agree with this, that even in order to make marriages work too, I think you should have a shared value system,
Have to.
even interests and
Yes,
goals.
yes.
A lot of times, and you're gonna go back to the gender thing. A lot of people, females, sometimes I've heard it a lot. Females, and females don't kill me tonight, but I hear mostly females say they're bored in relationships, and I find that often, like, you're bored. You're in a relationship and you're bored. So I've heard it said many times, females like something to be happening. They like climax of things,
Toxic.
drama, and
that's what.
excitement,
because-
excitement, or the fuzzy feeling, and that is not what real relationships are about.
No.
Sometimes it's just gonna be a plateau. Sometimes you're just gonna both go to work, come home tired, eat, go to bed, and it may seem mundane, but that's a part of
But
life.
listen, peace seems boring to a toxic person.
You were
Peace
absolute- that's
seems
true.
boring to somebody who's consistently in drama.
Yes.
So they need to reevaluate themselves. Hold on, if my house is peaceful,
Yes.
why do I have a problem with this? Because me and him ain't rowing, or he ain't, he's, or she isn't, or they're causing drama, whatever the person, whoever that is. Now, there's peace in their home, but they're calling it boring.
Right.
But like you said, find some common interests.
Find
Find
common
some
interests.
drama. Not
Yeah.
drama, sorry. Some
If that's what they want.
Just find some.
Something.
Okay, watch a drama. Don't find it. Don't create it.
Create
Hey,
drama.
cut your own movie.
Yes.
Hey, travel. Find things to do on a
But
budget.
if you don't have things in common, then
That's
it could separate you in
Yes.
terms of spending quality time together.
Yes.
And I think that's important, because when you're not spending a lot, quality time feeds a relationship in a positive way.
You need common goals. Something
Yes.
because that's the only thing that's gonna keep you guys talking together.
Exactly.
When there's nothing to talk about. Hey, remember when we've been down the road? You need
Yes.
shared memories. You need common
Yes.
memories. You know, go to the movies, go for a drive, go get some comforters, go take a sip.
Yes.
You know, something, go on the beach, do things together. And they have to stop waiting for the other person to make the move. If you're feeling that way,
Yes. Suggest
come out
it.
and say it. Don't wait for that
I
person
always
to
have
read
be
your
the one
mind.
to suggest things. I always have to be the one to plan. He never wants to plan anything.
Well-
He never makes me feel special if I have to be the one planning everything.
Okay.
So what?
So what? So I bet you don't complain about other things. If he's paying
He's
the
paying
mortgage,
all
you
the
don't
bills.
be paying all the bills. You ain't gonna
You-
complain about that.
Yeah, he always paying all the bills. Why is he always paying? Well,
Yeah. He always
Never
making
heard
sure
that
everything's
comment.
fixed. Why you gotta go pay the light bill? Why you can't go pay it one time? Why you
No,
you
you
ain't
don't
gonna
hear
complain
that,
about those
so-
things, right?
Exactly.
So it's give and take. You know, and don't throw away the 80% for the 20%. You know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you minding these housewives and these bunch of drama you see going on social media, and because it ain't happening in your house.
Hollywood is very influential in a
And,
lot
and
of
it may,
ladies' lives.
yes, and it may even lead to that same idiot, because I'm going to call her an idiot, the woman who you said at the beginning of the show, her husband, she has no complaints with her husband.
None.
The guy is almost perfect.
Great guy, she said.
Two
No
kids,
fault.
but because she isn't happy, she wants to leave the marriage. How
needs to find
stupid
herself.
could you be? You know what? And that
But
stems,
most
you look at
people
it on
said
social media.
That's good for the guy. That's a win for the guy.
Yeah.
Let her go, and he needs
No, it
just
ain't going
to
to win.
go.
Let me tell you why.
Because
he's going to pay
children.
for that.
And well, that's
He's going to
true.
pay for that. The guy's going to have to start over.
Yes.
She's going to take the kids. She's going to
Those
take the house.
children will be in a
And then
broken
he's going to
home.
have to fund her. And then he's going to have to start over now. And then while she's out there finding herself. Listen, yeah?
Yes.
And then you have these idiots online encouraging her to go and leave because they're lonely.
They're not in a better situation.
Right, they
yes.
want her out there with them. The
Happy
devil loves
people-
company.
The thing is, exactly, and happy people always want to see other people happy.
Right,
And
right.
and that's how you know a lot of people who are giving miserable advice, the people are miserable themselves.
Yes, yes.
You know, so are we just going to ignore the commercial break? That has been there.
So we're going to take another commercial break. And guys, if you got anything else to say, give us a call, drop a comment in the chat, and we'll read it out live. We'll catch you on the next side of the break.
Greetings and welcome to Superior Talk Bahamas. My name is Yvette Swain, and I am here with the Sword Sharpeners Prayer Network. We meet every Monday at 6 p.m., where we dive into the Word of God to see what He would say to us. You are welcome to join us. That's every Monday at 6 p.m. here on Superior Talks. God bless you, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.
And we are back. We're talking about what makes a successful marriage. We touched on communication, respect, support for one another, listening, empathetic
Commitment.
listening versus defensive listening. What else was it?
We talked about commitment,
Commitment,
getting advice,
getting advice.
being each person's ally and
Right,
best
being
friend,
each other. That's right.
shared values,
Shared
and
values, building
interests.
building memories together. And one thing but the most important thing we said, God should be the foundation.
Yes.
And we do realize that we have people who have other beliefs. So even if you don't subscribe to our Christian values, our godly value, you and your spouse should have the same belief, whether that's no belief or that's belief in God, whether you all want to be Rastas, whether you all want to be atheists or Buddhists or whatever. You all should have the same belief, you know, because how can a man serve two masters? That same, a house divided will fall.
Yes.
Trevor says, when God said, come now, let us reason together, one or the other should think in that manner to solve marital problems. Yes, that's where wisdom, knowledge, and understanding comes in as a package. 3, and operation, I guess that's what I was going to say. Correct.
Nate McKenzie said, that's so true. Women are the temperature of the household.
Yes.
Definitely. We definitely are. And it's so important that we make sure that we maintain a positive temperature. You
That's
know,
right.
it takes one thing, because usually the guys are there, but it's usually us women who determine if the house is happy or it's sad or, you know, whatever is going on. But it's very, very important. And I think too, just before we read J. John, it's important that you have a good way to resolve conflicts.
Conflict
Because
resolution,
conflicts
definitely.
will come up in a marriage.
They will come
But
up.
how you resolve conflicts will be very important. Because it leaves each partner feeling either valued or devalued.
Yes.
So that's very, very important.
Yes. And I want to just say something, not just the temperature, the thermostat. Temperature is just what's in the air. The thermostat actually controls and regulates the temperature in the room.
Yes.
So the wives more often than not are the thermostats because you determine how the temperature is in the household. So J. John goes on to say, grooming for marriage should begin from the home, especially during the teenage years. Agreed. What is expected in marriage, how to conduct yourself, and how to raise a family.
Yes.
Most definitely, that's the Bible tells us that.
Yes.
The older women should teach the younger women how to groom their,
Yes.
how to be wives.
Wives.
And then the
yes.
husbands definitely take them, train their boys on how to be men.
How to be men. Yes.
And
But we know how that turned out. A lot of us came from homes without husbands, and so
yes,
mommy could tell us everything
Yes.
because she wasn't a wife; she was a single mother.
she only knew how to show how to be
she,
single mothers.
Right. She grew us up how to be independent women.
Right.
And so to make the switch from being an independent, and there's some guys who can help with that. There's some guys who can help if the woman has a teachable spirit. There's some guys who
That's
can
it.
help with how she becomes a wife from an independent. A guy could love a woman into changing from an independent woman into a loving wife, and you can fix your face 1,000 different ways, Jason.
Listen.
No one cares. Lady LaShawn says, "Play nice, Jason. No name calling."
Listen, Cheryl, that
Loving
is-
the conversation today, and welcome back, Cheryl. Thank you so much. We're not letting Jason talk.
Listen, Cheryl made a point, and I can agree to that, right? A guy could do that. But why should he have to? That's like a woman saying, because women will say, I'm not training no man how to be a man. He's supposed to come a man, he's supposed to be a man. I think that's same. Why does he have to do that? You know you're stepping into a situation. Just how you train yourself for a job, why don't you go and get that training to be a wife?
Because there's no on-the-job training, and that's the problem in a lot of cases. You have on-the-job training, right? For jobs.
You study.
You have on-the-job training.
But you study.
A lot of people, no, but listen though, a lot of people who are married are doing on-the-job training and realizing that it's not working. That's why you have so much divorce.
Correct. Correct. But Cheryl, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, why should it be? Why wouldn't you be proactive?
No, but if you
and be like, okay, I want to be a wife. I've seen a lot of divorces, but I've seen some
agree.
successful marriages.
I agree.
Why don't I go and see? We all need to prepare ourselves
with-
and get ourselves before.
Absolutely.
Get ourselves ready before we go into this marriage, so that we can avoid some pitfalls.
And how can we do this? I know you can read books, but I think the best way to do this is to talk to people who have done it. Who are
That's
doing
what I'm
it.
saying.
They're older, mature women, even in the church, and I know a few of them. And then there are other people who are married, who've been married for 20 years, who are willing to share with you honestly.
Successfully married now, because we got some marriages who've been married from a long time, and
They're just
they just married by paper. So they live an
really?
individual lives.
Okay. But the ones who are successful, like you're saying, who are happy,
Happy.
yes, then we can hear, listen, go and listen, sit at their feet
Right.
and listen to them and find out what they're doing. But I am saying though too, even it will still be a learning curve.
Yes.
For somebody who's moving from one stage to the other in their lives, it will be a learning curve for them.
Definitely, Cheryl,
But it
because
will take love and commitment to see the other person through, because a lot of times now I find that the first little
hiccup.
people want to get a divorce.
Yes.
Nobody want to stick there and say, okay, I'm in this for the long haul. We're going to work this through. I'm committed to this. I'm committed to you. And so we have to work it through.
Because Satan, again, is the ruler of the airwaves, and that's the agenda, that's the message, that's the narrative he's pushing. You ain't happy? Get out. She ain't satisfying you? Get out.
Yeah.
You know, and so we have, again, us as parents, J. John mentioned, it should be grooming them from home. Teaching our children how to be successful, not just on the job,
Yeah.
successful at marriage. You know, because to the point where you're saying, you know, we need to be loved out or helped out of it. All of us coming from different backgrounds. I came from a background of serving, you know, and this is how love is expressed. By taking care of the other person, trying to meet the other person's needs. That's how it's expressed. My wife may come from a background where it's verbally expressed.
Right.
So here she is waiting for me to verbally
stuff.
and be sensitive and all this stuff.
But you're
and I'm
busy
waiting,
serving.
and I'm busy serving.
Right.
And I'm waiting for her to serve me,
Right.
feed me, and do all this stuff. But she's telling me how she appreciates me and all this stuff, and I'm be like, okay, that's good, but they serve me.
Yes.
So it's communication again. And we have to learn how to speak each other's language.
Exactly. Learning
And we have to
each
be,
other's language.
and like you say, we have to be teachable. You have to be teachable, you know? But I heard a saying, you know, before I say what I have to say, you know, I've been accused of not reading the comments.
Well, you better read them, then we don't have much time.
Yeah. LaShawn says, where's the genuine love? We confirm to meet the needs and desires of our spouse. We can use guidelines, yes, but we should each be transforming to please each other.
Agreed, yes.
100%. And
Yes.
that's a great segue into love.
Yes.
Because somebody says love is not enough for marriages, right? And my rebut for that is
you know what?
they would say that is because they don't know what love really is.
Yes.
They're going by today's standard of love, social media standard of love, you know, where they've changed love into a feeling, you know, a happy feeling. And if I don't feel like being around you, or if I don't get butterflies, or if I don't feel connected or attracted to you, then I'm no longer in love with you. That's not what love is.
Right.
Love is a commitment for doing what's right for your spouse, in spite of how you feel.
In spite of how you feel.
So there's that word again, commitment. Love is being committed
Yes.
to doing the right thing, in spite of how I may be feeling.
Right.
Love is sacrifice, sacrificing my needs and my wants for the marriage.
Right.
Love is servanthood, serving that person the way they need to be served,
Right.
not the way they want to be served now, because they
Yes.
might be ridiculous. Serving them the way they need to be served, which means placing their needs above my own.
Yes.
That's what love is. And if you love that way,
It's
the
enough.
marriage will win. That's enough.
Yes, I agree. And both persons have to be reciprocal in that.
They have to
You
subscribe
have
to
to
it.
treat, and you know, I've seen so many people do that for the job. They go to
Oh, my
work with a
God.
headache. They go to work when it's storming.
Storming.
They sacrifice for the job. They take verbal abuse from the boss.
Oh,
They
preach
do
it,
all
sister.
of that. And the minute their spouse don't say it the perfect way they want it to be said, it's an issue. So I mean, the hypocrisy is really real.
It's real.
And I think
It's real.
too. And where's your loyalty?
That's it.
Home is priority.
Priority,
You know what I
job
mean?
number one.
Home is job number one. And I think if we have that perspective on home, how are we going to treat our spouse, what it is we're going to do, willing to sacrifice, regardless of how you feel.
Exactly.
You are going to be, and it's not even being a spouse. It's not just about doing. It's about being
yes.
that person.
Being.
You know, being and doing. You do out of result of who you are.
Correct.
So first
Overflow
you
of the
have
heart,
to
right?
be that person.
Yes.
And so it's very, very important that we stop making excuses.
That's
And
it. Stop
just
making excuses.
Stop
Just-
making
just be.
excuses and just be that person.
Yes, yes, yes.
And be willing to, like you say, educate yourself, because if there's something that you're not doing well, go and educate yourself on how to speak to someone with respect and to be an active listener and
Yes.
to listen with understanding.
Understanding.
Go and learn how to do it. You can Google anything these days.
Any and
Go
everything.
ask Google how to do it.
And Google is
And-
getting very good.
Very
Google is getting
exactly.
very good.
So if it's important to you, you'll do it.
Amen. I want to say how good Google is getting. So I Googled.
Uh-huh.
I say, Google, what does it take for a successful marriage?
You can read the whole thing. Google. tell
Google
you, hey.
says a successful marriage is built on a foundation of mutual respect, open communication, trust, and a shared commitment to working through challenges together. It also involves an understanding, empathy, and a willingness to compromise and adapt.
We said the same thing. We smart as Google, hey?
Did you say that right?
That's right.
Google say he just ain't as long-winded as us.
We
So-
said it in an hour. We'll Google that in 2 minutes.
Google. So if you want
Yes.
anything you're interested in, you can learn. You can go and you can pursue. You can become successful at anything you want to. Why not be
Yeah.
successful in your marriage and be
Yes.
willing to make
Do
the
work.
change, to do the work?
Do the work.
Stop being lazy.
Do the work. When I was in college, I was up 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
You
right?
think you get me to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning not to do anything? You better do it.
Let me ask you a question, Miss. Listen.
We're wrapping
listen.
up.
No, I will ask you this
Don't ask
question.
me any
and
questions.
don't. Okay, let me ask the listeners
Yeah,
question.
ask, listen.
At your spouse comes and say at 2 o'clock,
Oh, Lord.
and at 2 o'clock, at an opportune time, let's say it's late in the evening, and they want something to eat. What do you do?
If I'm up,
Even if you ain't up, if he wakes
if
you
I'm
up.
sleeping at 2 o'clock in the morning, he's asking me to get up and make him something, he would never do that.
What if he does?
If he does, I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna be happy about it.
But that's no problem, yo. That's not
I'm
a
not gonna
problem.
be happy.
Remember now, you have to say doing what's right in spite
Regardless
of how you feel. See, and that's love. That's the
Yeah.
right answer.
I love him.
Because all right, so
Oh,
we've been
boy.
told to wrap up. We've been told to wrap up.
I'm
Mind you, we
changing
ain't even
that.
get to half of the points that we take because we don't have all the answers. We know you guys have some of the answers out there, and we would really love to hear you. Also, we may have to do another part of this
Yes.
to
We'll
say what
continue
makes a
this next
successful
week.
marriage. We may have to continue the topic. So, in our wrap up.
Oh. Yes, I just want to go back the way we started by saying that, God should be in the mix. God should be in the mix because, I wouldn't say it makes it, it does make it easier
It
if
does.
God is there because it really tells us what to do, how we should act. It's not always easy to follow what he says, but the outcome definitely will be better. It will be more beneficial. And I think once you are best friends with your spouse, once you're best friends, you have that mutual respect and that open communication, and you are willing to be vulnerable. I think that goes a far way in helping in your marriage and helping it to work.
Most definitely. Empathetic listening versus defensive listening. That's what I like to see. That's one of the key points of a successful marriage. When your spouse comes to you with any issue or any concern, be willing to hear them out and actually put yourself in their shoe to see if where they're coming from is really valid. And matter of fact, not even to see, because if they're bringing it to you, it's valid to them. So try to meet them where they are. Put yourself in their shoes and know that when you want to be heard, how you would want to be treated, when you go to them. So treat them how you would want to be treated.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, we didn't mention it, but taking accountability for your actions and not making excuses. I think that's
That will
another.
continue next week.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go on to that. Continue that next week. So, love, I feel, is enough if we love
Love the right
the
way.
right way. Love and from a sacrificial point, from a servanthood point, committed to doing what's right for your spouse, in spite of how we feel. That will lead to a successful marriage. But we will continue this conversation, Lord's willing, next week.
Yes.
And just before we go, a commenter says, tell Cheryl I know she lying because where she getting up 2 o'clock to cook nothing for nobody.
Someone said that.
They did.
Oh, these haters are real.
Hate is real. Hate is real.
telling you.
So we can see you again
Next
next week.
week.
Same time, same place. Peace.